Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I am your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, training facilitator and coach with Grant Cardone. I'm bringing you, the one listening, the one watching this right now, I am bringing you weekly sales solutions, sales tips, strategies, and attitude adjustments from the 10X world of Grant Cardone. Look, 87% of what we do here, it's 87% now, I just made that number up. At least 80, if not 87% of what we do here is 100% free. That, my friends, guaranteed, okay? So the purpose of the Cardone Solutions Podcast is to make sure that the free stuff we're putting down, you are picking up and you're putting it into your sales, your business, and your life. So thank you in advance for hitting that subscribe button. And if you're getting value from this, please do me the favor and make sure that you're sharing this out into the cyberspace so others can benefit from it too. Now, before we get into today's episode, which is 7 tips from your Uncle G on how to close more deals, let's just deliver real fast, take care of some housekeeping. You know what's coming. A word from our sponsor. Today's episode of the podcast is being brought to you by Cardone University. This is, beyond any shadow of a doubt, the #1 sales training program in the galaxy. Would you like to increase your income and grow your sales today? Who wouldn't want to increase their income right now? Okay, here's what you get. Full access to Cardone University that has over 800 plus business courses. There's a private group on Facebook called Cardone U Connect. It is a community of like-minded 10Xers that are looking to grow and expand their sales, their business, and their life. This is your network, and your network is your net worth. Exactly, okay? Exclusive Cardone Q&A live streams, private Q&A sessions with your Uncle G, access to new content, never before released material is in this program right now as well. And you get special pricing on products and events. So this is everything you need to run a business and a household, okay? We want you on this journey, okay? Do not miss this opportunity because right now you can actually get free access to Cardone University for 14 days. What could you accomplish and learn for yourself in 14 days of hard, focused study, okay? This course will change your life. We guarantee it, okay? Will you allow us to help you navigate this new economy we just found ourselves in, okay? We're going to expand your sense of what's possible in your career and your business. This is the basic stuff, the fundamentals, the foundational, up to very advanced, highly advanced sales and closing techniques. We're going to give you every single tool that you possibly could need to get started. And to take advantage of this 2-week free trial, pop over to cardonesolutions.com/CardoneU-free. That's cardonesolutions.com/Cardone, the letter U, the word free, cardonesolutions.com/CardoneU-free. Get over there. Do it. Okay, how would you like 7? 1, 3. Oh, I just totally screwed it up. 1, 2, 3. I put dos and tres all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's right. 7 tips to close more deals. So here's what's funny, if that wasn't funny enough. Anytime I save this, anytime I ask the question, I'll just ask you right now, hey, would you like to close some more sales? What'd you just say? You said yes, of course you did. And everybody that I asked says the exact same thing, okay? Now the answer, though, gets a little bit more complicated when I ask a question like, are you willing to take the time and the effort to actually learn how to close those extra sales? So here's how it rolls out. Hey, you willing to close more sales? Well, yeah. Okay. So are you willing to take the time and effort to actually learn how to close more deals? Well, it depends. So here's the reality of the situation. Diminishing production of salespeople starts with and will always, that's a big word, always, will always trace back to their inability to close a deal. The diminishing production of the salesperson starts with and will always trace back to their inability to close a deal. If you're a salesperson and you can't close, and you don't know what to do when you get into the close, then what is the point of doing things like prospecting? Why would you even bother making a cold call when you can't close an appointment? Who's going to persist in the follow-up if when you get them on the phone, you can't shut the deal down? And if you continually fail in the close with no chance of victory or success, I mean, how many times are you going to get your butt kicked before you throw in the towel? And this is why you see salespeople become jaded, why they start doing less and less and less over the course of their entire career. Did you know, check this out, this is crazy. When I first learned this stat, it blew me away. Top producers outperform bottom producers by 10 to 1. So if you really want to close those extra deals, it will not come down to you because you call on more people. Does that make sense? You'll get a few, right? Even a blind squirrel can get a nut. Because this may be what you're doing right now. But what if you actually learned how to be a better closer? Because regardless of where you're at, do you have room for improvement? Here's another question nobody says no to. Regardless of where you're at, do you have room for improvement? Yeah, I mean, can you even think of a time where you being a better closer would have been really helpful? How'd you feel when you didn't close that deal? I mean, I know how I know exactly how I feel when I don't close. You got any negative connotations associated with being a better closer that you may need to unravel? Well, what? Yeah. You got any negative connotations on your lines right now about you becoming a better closer that you may need to unravel a bit? I mean, do you even deserve to be a better closer? Are you willing to? Here we go again. Are you willing to take the time and effort to actually learn how to close more deals? So if the answer is yes, and I'm sure it is, okay, here's 7 things that you can do. You actually have to do them now to ensure you become a better closer. Are you willing to do them? Number 1, make a commitment to greatness. You have to be committed to getting great, not just average, okay? Sales is a painful profession for someone who's just getting by. And if you're a low performer, it sucks. But it is massively rewarding and like the best thing ever for those who are great. In fact, those who are great can't imagine doing anything different. But the lower you get on the spectrum, the more you start thinking about that hourly job again. Okay? Now, the people that are living, breathing, and eating their profession, that's who becomes great. There has never been one great anything that was not completely consumed by his or her trade. Do not think for 1 second that you are some exception to that rule. All great success is preceded, meaning coming before, by a commitment to being great that is reinforced every single day, by continuing to make that commitment to be great. And if you aren't great, what are you? You're average. And I know you don't want that. Number 2, you got to get multiple and creative closing strategies. Easy sales are going to go down easy, and the rest of them are going to require some effort and patience and persistence. If you only got 3 or 4 bullets in your gun, closing a deal is going to be a hard thing for you. You won't be able to stay in the transaction long enough to wrap it up. Okay? Closing a deal, it's a lot like taking a trip. You're limited to only the amount of gas you've got in the tank. And the great closers, the one that you committed to being a second ago, the great closers have way more closing strategies in their tank than they have objections, stalls, and reasons for not doing it. Okay? So you got to get a lot of ammo. Number 3, do not, this is so important. This one is so important, okay? Do not believe price is the issue. It's so easy to do that, though. But again, if you're committed, buyers have literally been trained by our marketplace to use price as a way to define actual value. Now, a great closer, which is you, because you just made the commitment to be that, the great closer knows this and is an expert at handling the price issue. And once you know deep down that price is never the real issue, once you know that, and once the buyer is certain that the product or service will solve the problem, they will pay the price. The same customer that has a black American Express card, you know what that means, stands in line at Starbucks every single day and pays too much for coffee. They'll spend $90 to watch a pay-per-view fight, complain about the cost of pizza, and they don't want to tip the delivery guy. Why is that? Price clearly is never the real issue. How well do you present your product? Well, does the buyer believe the value of your offer? And does the value exceed the price? Okay? Now, if you need to learn more about the price myth, there's an entire course inside Cardone University for you to train on. I gave you the URL earlier, but it's cardonesolutions.com/Cardone you free. Pop in there and get dialed in on this price myth thing. Because a great closer is convinced that price is never the reason people will not buy, no matter how many times the buyer says no or that it's too much. Price is a myth, and it's proven out every single day by consumers, family, managers, governments. They're all over budget. Everyone complains about price and then spends more than they wanted to. You do too. Okay? Number 4, sell your story and quit buying the customer story. In every sale, someone gets closed. There's a Ben Affleck speech that just fired off in my head from Boiler Room, okay? In every sale, someone gets closed. The question is, right, just like in the movie, who is doing the selling and who is doing the closing? You or them? You selling the buyer on why they should be doing what they're doing, or are they selling you on why they can't do what you think they should be doing? And when you believe their story, when you buy into it, and it may be legit, but when you buy into it, every single time, your production gets limited. Now, I'm not suggesting that you ignore an objection or that you lack actual empathy with their situation, whatever that may be. But I'm certainly not suggesting that you should just avoid closing the transaction because of their situation. Okay? If you're taking notes, this is where you want to write something down. Average producers have a bad habit of becoming convinced of the customer's reasons for not buying, and then, here's where it gets bad, they abandon their own belief in their product and their company. They abandon their own belief in their product or their company. Okay, and if you can just fix this one thing, your production, it's going to soar. But you will be required to have strategies to stay in this close. Impress. Remember, you do not actually provide a service to your customer until you close the deal. Which brings us perfectly over to number 5, which is learn how to insist and get in the close. Okay? Grant talks a lot about how, like, we've all been made to believe that pressure is bad. Were you taught that? That it's wrong or rude or unprofessional? I mean, the reality is, you ready for the reality? Here's the reality. Pressure is necessary and vital to getting the extra sales closed and removing time from the sales cycle. Pressure makes diamonds. Grant says he'll do anything and everything to close a customer because he believes in his product and his offer. What about you? Now, when you learn how to perfect the craft of insistence, you can actually pressure a customer and they'll admire and thank you for it. How'd that be? If you completely believe in your product, your service, and your company, you must be willing to apply the right amount of pressure to make the extra sales. You'll probably make a few no matter what you do. Okay, but we're talking about extra. Earn extra customers. If your purpose and your mission is valuable, you have an obligation to insist and, yes, even pressure the buyer. Them feeling pressure to do the right thing. Grant talks about how a customer asked him once, "Hey, are you pressuring me?" And at that point, Grant said, "No, but I am willing to go there because I know that this is the best solution for you. Now let's do this." 6, most Americans right now are just barely getting by financially. True, right? Did you know that in a pre-COVID world, 76% of Americans were living paycheck to paycheck? Where do you think that number is right now? And so the bottom line is this, right out of the 10X rule, folks. Average is a failing formula. Okay, just getting by, it's painful. It's expensive, and you need to knock it off. It is said that 20% of the people are responsible for 80% of the business. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know that just making it, just getting by, that doesn't work for sure. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, period. So if you're struggling to close, maybe, just maybe, you might need to revisit and review your financial goals. And if you have your financial goals dialed in, well, heck, maybe that might make it very specifically easier for you to make that commitment to greatness, for you to get multiple and creative closing strategies, for you to just be totally convinced that price isn't the issue, not buy into your customer's story, be willing to insist and learn how to do that correctly. Your financial goals are tied in with what you want out of this life. This is the only one you got. And when your financial needs are clear, you will find yourself closing more deals. Just make sure that you're not just making a sales call to make a sales call, okay? But to serve a customer by closing the sale. 7, train on becoming a closing master. Train. Great athletes know there is a huge difference between learning, practicing, performing, and perfecting. The greats perfect their craft before they bring their game to the stadium. It has been said that it takes up to 10,000 hours to master any skill. Okay? And the close is where the salesperson gets paid. You don't get paid to sell. You get paid to close. See the difference? Jordan didn't get paid to dribble down the court. He got paid to put it in the basket. So you don't get paid to sell, you get paid to close. Closing's a skill. It can be developed. It can be crafted. It can be tuned, fine-tuned, honed. So we have a complete program inside Cardone University. For a professional salesperson, if you're an amateur, this isn't the right program for you. But if you're a professional or you want to be, then this is your deal. You want to perfect your closing skills? Would you like to have access to scripts where you get to customize your closing techniques to your personal industry? It's all inside Cardone U, okay? Do not believe that being a good salesperson takes no effort. If you the one listening, if you're tired of average and it's painful, you know it is. Maybe you just need to admit it. If the checks are too small, the failures too often, I've been here, okay? You already know that it takes more effort to be average than it does to be great. That's something else you're going to have to admit. That may be something else you're going to have to take your brain and rewire that one, but you know that's real. It takes way more effort to be average than it does to be great. So why haven't you learned to be great at closing yet? Would you like to love sales even more? Are you even open to getting better yet? If the answer once again is a real yes, CardoneSolutions.com/Cardone you free. CardoneSolutions.com/Cardone you free. CardoneSolutions.com/ what now? Cardone, the letter U, the word free. Get over there. Get her done. 2 weeks free. My gift to you. Don't waste any more time. Go over there, sign up, get her done. And this has been another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you being here. Hey, let's go over these 7 one more time. And as I'm going over the 7, okay, hopefully you wrote everything down. You took a bunch of notes, right? But just start thinking with, hey, which one of these do I definitely need to dial in a little bit better? Do you need to recommit to greatness? Do you need to go out there and get even more closing strategies and get creative with how you're closing deals? Are you getting hung up on their stories about price or just their stories in general? Okay, are you willing to learn what you need to do inside so that you can persist, and get into the close more often? Are your financial goals dialed in, and are they tied to you closing more deals? And are you training every single day? Are you focused on being a master? Remember earlier we talked about 10,000 hours to become a master, but you know it only takes 20 hours to be proficient at something? What a huge gap, okay? Which one are you going to do? Which one are you going to put in? Are you going to put in the work? Are you going to put in the effort? Are you going to train every single day to become a master closer? Thank you so much for listening. If there's anything I can help with, reach out to me at any time. I'm over there on the Twitter at David R. Bradley. Call my office, 310-777-0352. Email me, david@grantcardone.com. Thanks again for listening and being here. And be great, because nothing else pays. See you soon.